Hey guys, good evening. So I just stopped by to see if you have any questions. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, I'll just take off. As usual, leave the meeting in your hands. Uh, by the way, why, yeah, all right. So a bunch of people aren't here yet, and some of the regulars haven't done Quest 2 yet, I think. So if you haven't got Quest 2 in by this morning, you can only get 75% of the total trophy count for Quest 2. If it's like 10 trophies, you will only get 7.5 trophies. Even if you get 10, it's going to be 0.75 times 10, right? If you submit by Friday. You may think that 2.5 points is not a great deal, but in the end, at the end of the quarter, students tend to find that even 1 point here and there makes a huge difference, okay? So I think that you should not, you should basically consider that you can have, I think it's a good idea not to start the quest like a couple of days before it's due, right? I think a lot of people have this misconception that they can start like a few days before the quest is due and they can get it done. Well, if you can get it done in a couple of days, just front load it, or just get it done in the first few days, not the last few days, so that then you can have the rest of the time to yourself. That's much better, I think. Okay, so because what the reason I'm mentioning this is because a bunch of people who usually are regular in and turning in quests and getting stuff done, they only started doing Quest 2 like on Friday or Saturday or something like that. Okay, and that's a big risk to take. Okay, and in fact, if you look at the syllabus, you get no points for late submissions, right? So we just made a small change this quarter, a small allowance for you guys, so that it's 75% until the one Friday, 1 week late. And besides, it's not worth it to keep it more than 1 week late. I think most of you would know this, right? After having done green and all, if it's more than 1 week late, it kind of piles up, and having 2 or more quests due is no fun at all, because it just sucks the joy out of questing after that. You just have to get through with it, and you want to say, I want to get the fastest route through, because I want to know if I'm going to live or not at the end, and so I'll just get to the end first, and then I'll come back and enjoy it. But people never come back and enjoy it, because the educational opportunities are all the way littered throughout your life. You'll say, well, what, this could have been a fun and educational opportunity, but I just want to get through it. I'll enjoy I'll come back and enjoy it, but after that you may have other things to enjoy. But the thing is, you would have gone through this stressfully without having taken the full value out of it too. And a lot of things that you would have learned here, you would have learned, you would have missed learning, and you would learn much harder later on. I say much harder because even though it's not going to be much harder technically, you will be on the same in the same class as other students, okay, in your senior classes, right? You'll be in the same class as other students who already know all of this stuff. So in other words, you have like 0 seconds to learn all of this. Now you're thinking that I have 2 days to do it or 5 days to do it. Okay, that's cool. I can come back and do it. But if you're in the later advanced courses, you get 0 seconds to do this. You're expected to come in knowing this already. So imagine how much more stressful that would be. So, why would you inflict all that upon yourself? Just, plan things, okay, and do these things. I don't want to see any of these, late submissions, okay? Because even though it's lower points, at the end of the quarter, a lot of you are unhappy, okay? And I can see that, and it kind of rubs off on everybody and me. And so don't do that. And so stay on top of these things and get things done, okay? And if you're stuck, ask in the forums. A lot of people who are regulars are not even posting until a couple of days before the quest is due. So you should be doing this every day. And again, don't bunch it up. Do it on one day or 2 days. A couple of hours. Last quarter, I had a student. His name was Yam, okay? And another student actually had a discussion just like this in the catch-up circle, okay? And he said, what is the best way to do it? Do I do it once a week because I do it every Sunday? And Yam said, no, I did used to do it like that, but it doesn't work. So what I now do is I just quest for 1 to 1.5 hours per day. That's all. Okay. Even if I'm stuck at the end of 1.5 hours, I'm just going to say, to the hell with it. I'm not going to do this for the rest of the day. I got other stuff to do, right? I mean, Dylan's going to go composing and all. And so you got other stuff to do. And so you're going to say 1.5 hours a day. That works much better. Okay. I can tell you this for a lot of students have given a lot of evidence. So don't bunch things up. If you do everything in 10 hours, you only get 5 hours of productivity out of it. But if you take the 10 hours and slice it up into 1 hour per day, 1.5 hours per day, you actually get the whole 10 hours or even more. Okay, so that's all I want to say. And the reason I wanted to say hi to you guys as well. All right, okay, hi. Okay, so I want to say hi to you guys also. But I looked at the logs today, because after I imported the scores, I looked at the logs and I said, why aren't these guys in with their submissions yet? Because they've been regular all the way through 2B. And they've done a good job. They've done a good job on Reddit and posting and all. And then all of a sudden they kind of disappeared and come back in the last, penultimate hour and try to ace these things. And they're not here at today's meeting, I think. Okay, so you guys should basically pass the message on Reddit and all these Discord and all these other forums you have. You shouldn't take these classes lightly. Okay, this is a professional course. We can't say I'm going to be a neurosurgeon, but I'm going to skimp out on the surgery lessons, right? Okay, so you can't do that. This is a professional course. You're going to be doing stuff that other people are going to be using. Okay, so you can't have a security loophole at Twitter or Facebook and say I'm not going to face any charges from the CEO. Yeah, because all of these will come. These are so that's why I say you got to take these seriously. And all right. Anyway. So that's all. Okay, so if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Yeah, Ryan's here. That's good. All right, cool. Yeah, and Ryan's also been sending me email every time he dogs a quest. That's really cool. Okay, that again, that's a good idea to do it as soon as you dog it. I'd say, yeah, have it in your note in your diary saying, okay, in week 11, I got these 9 quests I got to tell Anand that I dogged. Yeah, you may forget it. And so now, as and when you dog a quest, but make sure you dog it first, and then you can just send me email. I'll update, right? So that column in your canvas where it says dog all quests, 18 total points, you get 2 for every dog you do. But you got to do the dogs in sequence, I think. I think, no, maybe you don't have to do the dogs in sequence. You can just have to do the pups in sequence, and the dogs can come in any order you want. Hey, Swethank, you got a question?
Yeah,
what's up?
Yeah, really quick. So if we pupped it before the deadline, can we still dog it and get the remaining points for that?
Well, you can dog it anytime before the final. No, not the final.
Perfect.
Yeah, dogging and again, for dogging a quest, you don't have to do them in sequence either. Okay. Pupping you got to do in sequence. After that, week 11 Friday, not final. Okay, week 11 Friday of week 11. You can dog any quest. You can dog 7 and 3 and 2 and all these things. You can jump around, and yeah, you can do many things at the same time.
Okay, sure.
So yeah,
thank you.
You got a lot of time. And pumping is quite easy. Think about it. Okay, pumping is quite easy. So there's no reason why you should put it off until the end. Because the problem is, if you get stuck on something really simple, okay. If it's a hard issue and you got stuck on it, okay, yeah, you'll probably forgive yourself for it. But if you get stuck on something really simple, because everybody who's been programming has run into these situations, right? Including me so many times, that many times we're stuck on something and we spend a lot of time trying to fix it, and then eventually we realize it's actually a very simple fix. Why didn't I do this first? Okay, then it would have saved me like 10 hours of work or something like that. So but that kind of thing, if it happens on when you have 10 days of time to finish a quest, that's okay. You'll forgive yourself for it. But if it happens when the quest is due tomorrow and you got wasted 10 hours today, then you'll feel really awful. Okay, and that is what the frustration is about. And a lot of people also post in the and send me email asking for private help. Obviously they no private help. But a lot of people send me email like a few days before the quest is done, saying, hey, I'm really stuck here. But if you post, you have to give yourself like 2 or 3 days for your other students to chime in and respond to your questions. You can't say, I posted something, nobody answered. It's like 10 seconds after I posted already. Okay, nobody answered. Yeah, obviously, right? So you got to give people time to react to your questions also. So yeah, that's why helps do all these things early. Okay. Yeah, and welcome Andrew. All right. Gerald, Nimita, Tejas. All right, you guys are a little late, but yeah, that's fine. Hey, yeah, all right. Mark and then Joe.
So
Right.
when you say, so you said if I pop a quest before the due date, I can then go back and dog it, right? So
Anytime, yeah. You can just basically you should concentrate on popping as many as you can, unless you have, you're confident of making major progress and dogging something really quickly, you can do it. But otherwise, if you think it's going to take some time, just shelve it for now, but don't forget it and go on to popping the rest, rest of the
I
ones.
see. So when you say popping, you mean get like even a single point, or like what do
No,
you
no,
mean by
no,
that?
no. Popping means progressing until the password. So until you
Oh,
get the
so as long
password,
as you get the password, basically.
yeah, so that is popping.
Okay.
And dogging means you got to get every single trophy. Well, I think,
Right.
yeah, in red, you got to get everything a single trophy, as far as everybody knows, I think. I don't know. Right. But
Okay.
for green and
Mhm.
red, green and blue dogging is the number of trophies. I think blue dogging is 190 trophies, and green dogging is 225. Is it something like that?
Right. And you said if I don't dog the previous quest, then
No, dogging
my
is
bad.
okay. You can dog it in any
But
order.
then
You got to pop
right.
things in order.
Right, but I'm saying if I don't dog the previous, the blue and the green, then it's like I can get an A plus, right? Or
Yeah.
okay.
I think that is right. Yeah, I think how many points? Two plus 4, 6 points, and that's 100 minus 4. 100 minus 6 is 94. I don't know what the cutoff for A plus is, but you yeah, 94 is the max you can get.
Right, and I can do that at the until week 11, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Hey, Joe.
Hi, Professor. I have two questions. That first is what do you said in the email that you said to check your final fish scores. So if we can still dog the quest, so why we can just check our final fish scores?
So if you have dogged your quest, if you've dogged the quest, can you check your final fish score? Well, what did I say in the email? I've actually forgotten what I said in the email. I think, hang on, let me try and remember. I said,
okay.
Oh yeah. I think I said the fish is now finished, including. No, you can come back to dogfish at some point.
Yeah.
Actually, I forgot what I said. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So we can still dog for the quest, and then the scores can maybe increase, right?
If you have popped it, you can increase the score anytime before the
Yeah. And I have a second question is that if we like the dog for the blue or green quest, if we dog for some of the quests but not all of them, so maybe we can get part of the dog
for
points.
blue and green. For blue and green, you just have to get the total number of trophies, right? You got to get 190 blue trophies to dog it, and I think it's about 200 and.
Oh, so if we don't get all of the trophies, we can't get the dog
points. You can't get the dog points. You can get the pup points for sure, but you won't get the dog points.
Oh, so we must to dog for all the blue and green quests, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, thank you.
I think for the blue, it's easier to focus on not just dogging each quest individually, blue and green. You say I want to go for the total number of trophies. Yeah, I want to go for, I don't know, 200, 190 for blue, for example, right? Because I want to get 190 trophies. You can always add them up and say, well, you know what, I need some more. Which one can I get more trophies in?
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Saya.
Oh, yes. So I have a question. I saw the red quest 3 is already graded on the.
You're on red 3 right now, right, Cormorant?
Yes, but it was already graded on Canvas, so I was.
Yeah.
If
it's there.
Upgraded.
Yes, of course. That's quest 3. Don't worry, okay?
Okay.
Only quest 2 is If you've already done some of quest 3, you'll see those points in Canvas. But when I actually do the import after freezing quest 3, it'll go up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah. So I think you got another question?
Yeah,
No,
sorry.
no.
Yes.
Hey, Dylan, I thought
Hypothetic.
Dylan had a question.
I did, but you just answered it. I had
All right.
one of my scores wasn't, it was felt wrong in what my Canvas grade was compared to what I had put in. So I was just checking on that, but that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, if you see any discrepancies, just let me know. Okay, I can just fix them up manually. Yeah, you can email me. All right. Okay. Great.
Yes.
No questions?
Yeah, I had a question. Just hypothetically, is
Uh-huh.
it possible to pub Quest 2 and also be able to pub Quest 3, or do you have to dog Quest 2 to get all the
No.
quests?
No. That's what I said. You can just pop all of the quests. You don't have to dog anything.
Oh, okay.
You
I
can
thought it
pop
was
all the quests.
dependent on the one before. For Quest 3 was, I thought, dependent.
You have to pop and you have to progress. Forget about pop and dog. Okay, maybe these terms are confusing people, right? More than they're supposed to help. Forget about it. They're just acronyms. If you got the password, move on. Okay, if you got the password, move on. So that is called popping, right? Progress until password. Okay, I think one of the previous students coined that term, and we've been using that since then. Progress until password, pop. Okay, so so if you got the password, move on. And you get points, but then you can come you can come back, and then dog is a term that we just coined this quarter. Okay, detailed, attentive work given, which basically means getting all the trophies. You may have 2 strings, all of the 2 strings. I think most of the 2 strings are freebies, right? Or extra credit. Yeah, okay. So you're doing those and so on. In fact, Didier, one of my students from several quarters ago, and he observed that even though 2 string is optional, he said it was the most useful function to do right up front. The very first function you do is a 2 string for any data structure because it simplifies your testing and debugging a great deal. So he made that observation, doing the 2 string first, even though it's optional. It's pretty cool. Yeah, lots of students have made these really cool comments, and he was also the one who said, if you were stuck, just go on a walk and you'll just find the solution when you come back. And it's happened. It's worked for so many students since then. They all have gone back and said, hey, thanks, Didier. So it's fun. Yeah, so that's what it is. You can get all the trophies, and for blue and green, you just need to get 190 in blue, 100 and I think for popping, you don't need 190. Popping is get the password and everything, right? For dogging, you need 190 in blue, and I think whatever that number is, I think it's 240 for green, and then for dogging red, you got to look at the maximum. Essentially, you shouldn't have the TLE like Quest Master got tired waiting, ran out of patience. Those kinds of messages mean that you didn't dog it. Otherwise, I think mostly, except in Quest 6 onwards, it's harder to tell because you don't get those messages. You just say, yeah, but you can find out by looking at past posts at that time. You can tell, off your classmates saying, hey, how many trophies should I have gotten here? I think Christopher or someone posted and say, hey, you should get that many trophies in Quest 6. Okay, so we'll all have a fairly good idea of what dogging, how many points dogging each quest is. Yeah, and pass the message on to everybody. Okay, just take this course seriously because I see that some of you are taking it seriously and working on it every day and making steady progress. But maybe other people are doing a lot of other things and not able to take it seriously, but you've got to take this seriously. Okay, this will make a difference, both to your grade as well as to your life. Hey, Nemo, you got a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify again regarding one of your previous announcements that every time we're dogging something and it's past the date where you're inputting into the grade book, we should be emailing you.
No, dogging doesn't have a time limit. That's what I
No,
said.
not that it has. Yeah, not that it has a time limit, but each time we make it up to the maximum points, we should be emailing you.
Yeah, just email me saying I've dogged it. Okay, just be sure before you email me because you got until week 11 Friday. If you've actually maxed something out, just send me email and I'll that column will go up by 2 points for you.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Hey, John.
Yeah, so the number of trophies to dog like blue and green, that's in the syllabus, right? That's the numbers that are shown in the
Yeah,
syllabus.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's syllabus. That's what I said. You know, 190 is what I remember for blue. I don't know what it is for green.
Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
it's 240. Last quarter, Dylan or someone said there's 240, 240 trophies and all, or something like that. You and Christopher, Chris and you were discussing how many trophies.
Yeah, I think it was around 240 or there.
Dogging green, yeah, is 240.
Yeah.
Yeah, 240.
But I think
So
the
I
cap
think
is
that's what it is.
250. I think
Oh,
the
is it?
maximum amount you can get is 250. Not sure, but I heard of that last year. I mean, last quarter. But
Oh,
the
so yeah,
dogging,
if I put it in the syllabus, there must be 250 in there.
there's
But
probably
dogging
like
240 is fine.
efficiency points and stuff, but dogging
Yeah.
is 240.
But also, you know, there may be some points in there that are not to do with tech at all. Okay, so you know, there may be hidden points that you actually do get, not because of implementing something, but for fun reasons. Okay, so so there's 250 trophies in there, but 240 is sufficient to dog. Like submitting at a certain time of day and all. All right. No, nothing else for me. You guys can just carry on your conversation as usual, and so thank you all. Okay, thank you all. Well, I've taken up almost a half hour of your time. Okay, so yeah, keep the forum live and flowing as usual, and I look forward to reading a lot of exciting stuff from all of you guys. Okay, bye.
Hey guys, so I'm currently doing quest 3, and my matrix multiplication is working, but it's not optimized. It doesn't even finish the medium sized, I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking of having a function that transposes the second matrix so that I can run 2 iterators instead of use the get function, but I'm not sure. What do you guys think?
I actually tried doing transpose, but that's only enough for medium. So you can try it for medium, but for large, you have to find a way to use 3 iterators. Essentially, you have to like, for the first 2 iterators, you're going through like the rows, right? You have to like try to find like a correspondence between the 2 matrices, rows and columns, and like accordingly, you can like use in such a way that you don't have to. You basically like you don't have to like, I guess you can basically, I guess, use 3 iterators so that it's faster than just using 2 iterators.
And for the third iterator, you're talking about the matrix that you're returning?
Let me just open up my code real quick.
So a quick question about this. I see in the specification, it says that it's not a template class, but it provides template utility function. So that means we won't have like the template header, but do we need to do anything else or like any other notation for templates?
For which for matrix algorithms?
Yeah.
You don't need to
You just have to put template type name over every function, not over the class.
yeah.
Yeah, so as I was saying,
Oh,
like, yes, if you want to like try to optimize the multiply for sparse matrix to max, you would basically like in the obviously, so the way you would do is you would have 3 iterators, and then the third iterator, like you would need 2 like I won't go too much detail into it, but essentially you're like iterating, like 2 of them will be for the A matrix and 1 of them would be for the B matrix, and accordingly you can just figure out if you need to use the row or column and how to correspond.
So you're saying the iterators that are inside the get methods are not enough. You should make more iterators when you're doing the matrix multiply, essentially.
Yeah, if you want
If
to
you
do the
wanna
large,
optimize
if you want
it.
to pass large, yeah.
Mm,
The get function runs really slowly on large matrices because you have to iterate through the entire matrix when you're trying to find something using the get function. So you actually want to avoid using it.
Right, and
Yeah.
also it stops at a certain index, and I guess if you want to go all the way, maybe it's better to do like another function, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said something about this last week. You can iterate through your matrix quickly by looking at the list of each row. And then pay attention to, like, in matrix 1, if I'm in column 3, which exact cells in matrix 2 will that column interact with? Because there's like a pattern to it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Basically, you have to, like, in matrix B, there'll be like a certain, either a certain row or column or both that will correspond directly with the A's
Right.
current row and column.
Right, because if I'm not mistaken, for A you go by rows, and for B you go by columns, right? So it's like essentially two different iterators, but then you said for optimization you should have 3. If I'm not,
Yeah.
is that what you said?
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure. So what's the third one going to be for?
So, like, the first two are for the A matrix. Like, the first one, you would obviously just iterate to the A rows, and then the second one as well.
Mm,
So basically, you need 2 to iterate to the A rows so that you get like each element in each row. Like, for instance, if you're iterating through row 0, the second iterator will get like element 1 in row 0, element 2 in row 0. And by getting that, you will know like the row and column. So then after you use the second iterator, you'll know the row and column, and then accordingly, you can figure out in the B matrix like which row and column like only correspond with like which will only be multiplied by like 0, 2 or 1, 3.
I'm still not sure what you mean, because like for matrix multiply, you will need 2 for loops, like inner for loops, one to go, over the columns and rows, and then to move it basically. I'm not sure how to explain it, but I'm still not sure what you mean, because 2 for loops will be enough, and then you said the third one will be for what again?
For B, like for the B basically. But I mean, what you could do is try to like draw out, like maybe try to draw out both matrices and then like see what, like when you do the multiplication, see like which positions, like which cells in matrix B get multiplied by 0, 2. And then you should be able to find a pattern. Like if you look at row 0 in matrix A, see like which each of those elements are multiplied by in matrix B. And then yeah,
Right, because
I'm trying to like
we
explain
don't
it, but
multiply
not like
everything, right?
yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I see. Yeah, maybe it will become more apparent why I need a 30 days I do it. I kind of did this like in assembly, like this matrix multiply thing, and
Yeah.
we did it in like 2 for loops basically. So maybe if I apply it, it will be easier to understand. But
Yeah.
essentially, again, you said to make it faster. So instead of like, going through A and through B, you're going through B twice, basically.
You're going through like, you're essentially going through like A twice. Like,
Let's see. Can I
you-
maybe do whiteboard here? I think will be easier, right?
okay.
So you're saying you have well, it's laggy, sorry. You have
Not
two
really, you're not
matrices.
going through A twice. It's just you need 2 iterators to access like each specific element in each row, because the first iterator goes through all the rows and the second
Right.
iterator goes through every element.
Right. So this is one iterator, right?
That's 2. That's
Well, I
4.
mean,
Oh yeah.
it's one for loop, I guess is what I meant. They're gonna be in the same for, wouldn't they?
Not exactly.
I get what you're trying to do. You can do one master for loop that is the outer for loop for everything. But once you're inside that for loop, which is in fact, that's an iteration. But once you're inside that for loop, you will need 2 iterators, like specifically iterators to get through the list.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think my problem is thinking about with for loops, because like, if we weren't using list, for example, you'll do one for loop to, do the red, basically to go through all the rows and the columns, and then basically another for loop, like the outer for loop to do it multiple times.
With this data structure, or at least to beat the test on this, you don't want to use a for loop to iterate through the linked list. You want to iterate through the linked list so that it's only going to stuff that has an active. Yeah, like
right.
Yeah.
Right. When I meant for loop, I meant the for loop with the iterator notation. So like the for.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. Sorry. Yeah.
With that, right?
Yeah.
That's what I meant by for loop specifically.
Yeah.
Right. So two iterators for the for loops, and then another one for where again?
So like that's like the tricky part. Like so maybe, as I said, for instance, if you circle, let's say 0, 2, and then do the whole multiplication and see in the B which cells are multiplied by 0, 2 directly. Like for instance, like 0, 2 is multiplied by, like 0, 2 in A would get multiplied by, let's say 2, 0 in B. So that's just one. But then if you do more, like if you do the other columns and you multiply them by 0, 2, you'll see like which cells multiply 0, 2.
Wait, so if I understand correctly, you mean for the dot product to do another iterator?
Yeah, when you're doing the dot product, yeah, look closely at what the row and column numbers are of each number, like of which each element being multiplied.
I think I understand. So like so one iterator go through all of them, then another iterator to basically add them. Okay, maybe I'm confusing it, but it's fine. I think I should just get a bit more like
Yeah, you should
implemented.
maybe just try to like write and simulate the matrix multiplication.
Right.
It's
It's
weird
okay,
when you first recognize it for sure, but
Yeah.
then once you recognize it, it's very obvious.
The iterators. I see. I think I just need to implement it actually, and then I'll see it.
Because if you don't think about what's the underlying data structure, and then you just try to do the multiplication, you're gonna iterate through a lot of unnecessary iterations. So you can set up what they're saying about the third for loop is that you can use some other you can use a for loop to figure out, to loop through the linked list and then only iterate through the necessary cells.
Right, but I guess we will still have to use the get function though, because we still kind of want to maintain the order, and I think that's what the get function maintains, right? Or I'm sorry, the set function. No,
add
both
function?
of them. Both of them, the set and the get, they all work like by going until the column is like greater, and then you go back. It was in the previous quest, right? So I'm saying we still have to use that though, right? Because we still have to maintain the order, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But then another third iterator on top of that. Okay, I think I understand.
And if you have more questions, obviously you can ask on the Reddit, like a post.
Yeah. I'll just try to implement it more, and then I think I will get it. It's kind of hard to talk about it like that.
I will tell you, you don't have, you're talking about you want to use the get, like the get cell or the get row and get column.
I'm sorry, say again.
Are you saying you want to use the at function? Because you can get through this optimized without using at.
I don't remember which function exactly, but there were, I think, the get and the set. I think it was the add. Right. One of them or both of them had like the, you check if the column is greater than where you need to be. And I'm saying you will probably need to do, to keep the order. So I'm saying you'll probably need to do that in your own code as well to maintain the order, right? You kind of have to go until you. Oh, wait, but I'm sorry. You're saying it's not necessary to use it, right? You can just kind of rewrite it.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
not
add
necessary
function.
to use it because it's slow to use it. So instead, when you're iterating through, you can call a get function to figure out what the value is, or what the column is, or what the row is, and that's how you can maintain the order that way. But if you use the at function, it'll be too slow.
I see. So the get, not the at, basically, is what you're saying. Or are they the same? Wait.
No, they're not the same.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
at iterates through the list to find.
Oh, wait. So add was for the list and get was for the vector. Is that I'm just a bit, I don't remember the exact names. I should probably open it. 1 second.
I think add is just to get the reference of the column.
I see. Trying to 1 second. I'm
I
trying
mean
to
the
open up the
cell,
project.
the reference of a cell. So you can essentially just update it
Mhm.
once you get the cell by the add function.
Yeah, right. The add function is like pretty simple, but it's like, oh, right. You don't want to use the add function because it uses the vector and not the iterators. Is that what you mean?
For me, I used the add function and then I got it past the largest one. So I think there are
Oh,
like
really?
multiple ways to do that.
I see.
And did you also use 3 iterators?
I did,
Mhm.
but I'm not using iterator. I'm just using it 3 for loops. But you can consider that those as iterators.
Right. It has
I
to be
guess.
iterator for a list. There's no other way to do it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because like, how else would you go through elements? I think you just use the for loop notation for the iterator. I think that's what you mean, right?
What do you mean use the for loop notation?
Like the
Range-based for loops is what you're describing.
Could use a while loop too.
Yeah, while loop as well. But there's like a very nice, like, I think it's pretty new for C++ notation, where it's like
You mean that for each loop?
yeah, I'm sorry. Let me open that. 1 second. Where is it? Come on. 1 second.
Would it for each loop still run over all of the elements in the list, or does it skip over the default values? How does that work? It still runs over every element, I'm pretty sure, no?
Does anyone here use Sublime Text?
So
What is that?
basically, why it skips through a lot of the unnecessary cells is that by having another loop, I limited the cells that it can go to and only do operations on those cells that actually have data in it. So that's what I did.
Yeah, what I meant by the for loop notation is you basically you write like what type of iteration, or like I think the type of element you're gonna go through, and then you write like the colon, and then let me just post it in the chat. It's kind of,
I threw it in the chat. There's a link.
yeah, like I mean like something like this, for example, like that notation basically, which is also kind of like an iterator. Right, that's what you guys use for your for loop. Is that what you meant? Let me see.
Correct.
Mhm. So saying 2 for loops that use this notation and then a third iterator on top of that, basically. If I understand you correctly.
Just one word of possible caution. This you won't be able to store the position of this iterator if you want to insert or find, I believe.
Right, it has the specific element, not the index, but you can do a counter if you want, like the keep an index, right?
Yes.
I think I have to go now, so see you guys next week.
Yeah,
I see
same.
you.
Tests. I'll see you guys.
Have to go as well. See you.
Bye, guys.
Right.
I got some quick questions if there's some. Oh, that's a lot of people. If someone has a minute, I'm kind of still a little bit back and forth on how iterators work. I'm also still on Quest 2, sadly. But I posted the Discord. I'll show it here too. I got an error message that said mission aborted, Captain. There was a bolt from Zeus. We must have done something bad. I've never gotten that one before. I've gotten stuff for when it throws an exception, but never that. Does that mean I went out of bounds with an iterator?
I've never heard that error.
You never heard that one? Yeah,
That would maybe make sense.
I was thinking something like that.
What mini quest did it throw that error on?
It didn't mention, it just said that and that was it, but I went and looked through memory leakage and I think it says it got thrown on the at for the normal matrix. I think so, yeah. Because it says that error message and it shows the trace for it. It says it got to a point and it terminated it.
Are you throwing the exception correctly?
I believe so. Actually, I did ask a question about that in the Discord, but I still don't think I'm doing it properly. Hold up. See if I can give the example. I'm doing it like that because that was the only thing that seemed to make it not give me an error. Is if you like make an object for it and then you throw it with the dot what?
I don't think you need to make an object for it, right? Like if you
okay.
just throw the if you like the class is defined in the spec, I think, right? Like for the out of bounds exception, and then you can just throw the exception itself. Like you don't need to give it what the actual, like we don't care about what actually is thrown in a sense, like what the message says.
Gotcha. How do you do that? Like I've been going back and forth on it, and I tried like a bunch of different things, and the only thing where it would finally stop throwing error messages at me, even though it seems to have done that now, was doing that. I also did the other one, which was I also did that. I tried just doing exclusively the OOB underscore exception. It wasn't a fan of that.
Wait, you did that for what? Like where?
When I was trying to throw the exception.
I think when you throw the exception, you kind of just call it like you call an object. Like when because it's from a class, right? So
yeah. How do you do that?
Am I allowed to tell you like direct code stuff?
That's what I'm worried about.
Oh, okay. I hear what you're saying. He said though you're not allowed. Like you're telling me how to throw something. I'm not asking you to tell me how to solve. Like how do you do the at method? I just don't know how to throw an exception.
I think you could try, okay, you could try Googling it though.
I
Like,
have. I googled it for an
learning.
hour. I was not finding the right answers. That was the
Well-
closest thing that I landed on. Is it not like that? You said throw it like an object. I have the one earlier where I made the object. Do I just throw the object
We
without
don't
calling
need to
what?
make the object though, is my
Yeah.
point. Like you
You don't
just
need to make the
throw the
object?
error itself or the exception itself.
So just
You just need to, yeah, you just need to.
I just posted in the chat the 2B modules. If you go down to week 5B, it's the entire thing on exceptions.
they do the whole thing there. Yeah. Okay.
You
Thank
can
you.
catch up on throwing exceptions of this style where you're creating a class and then throwing a class object as the exception.
Oh, okay.
That's why we define the class, is then we can just throw an entire object of that class. And then the client can call .what to see why it was thrown.
Gotcha.
what-
Okay. That is helpful. Thank you. I will take a look through that.
Yeah, week 5B.
Okay, brilliant. That exactly was the problem. And I see now what you meant by throwing the exception like it's an object. Thank you. Yeah, I completely forgotten how to do that.
Yeah, I kind of found it helpful to like read the LOCEF modules like right before I do the quest. I think like they usually cover like stuff like that I usually forget.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, I have to go, but yeah, I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, I'll go too then.
Take care.
See ya.
That time. Good with calling it. All right, later.
Gotta go. See you.
Yeah.
Well,
Here we are.
yeah. What quest are you working on?
I'm just starting 6.
How is 5?
It was easy, except I wasn't checking on the rotate methods
Mhm.
whether the node was null or not. So I kept getting pointer errors, and I was very frustrated for an entire evening, being like, well, this is stupid because I know this code is right. Like I've done it works in my program. So what's happening? As soon as I did that, it like passed through. And then the other thing I forgot to do was, well, I guess I shouldn't talk specifically. It's recorded. The other thing I forgot to do was, I mean, that's a pretty common check. And then I also forgot to keep track of the size of the data structure. Because I was so used to doing it in the data structure itself. So yeah, but once I fixed those, like it passed right through. So I didn't find it too crazy. Did you just knock out like 3 quests this last week?
Yeah, I did. I just finished another one. I'm on 9th. I'm on the last one.
Dang, dude. Are you just like going
just going for it for the pub. Because I'm gonna be busy in this next few weeks, so might as well like fill any spare time I got working on this.
Yeah, I completely know. I know that. I'm like, I'm gonna be so busy, but I'm already busy. So I'm just like, I'm giving it everything I can. I'm trying to just do 1 a week. So I was mad because I didn't think I finished 5 last night, but I didn't think I was going to because I didn't know what was wrong. And then as soon as that, like I was just like, oh no, I'm gonna fall behind. I'm not gonna get anything done.
I'd say quest 6, 7, and 8 are like relatively the same level, and they're like all 3 of them are like medium easy borderline. You just need to like be really detailed.
Okay.
That's the one that's like taking most of my time. Like I know like the hash table, like sorting algorithms the next one. I'm not gonna give specific, but it's gonna be about sorting. And like, oh yeah, I know how this works. Like I know how to implement this, but like they're like, you know, the edge cases, the sentinel, like the specific implementation that he wants you to do. And for hash table, the tips that I want to give for you is to understand the difference between capacity and size. Because the size of the vector sometimes I confuse it with capacity, and that gives unexpected behavior in my code, and that's what took me a while actually.
Okay, that's good. That's a good little tip. Yeah, I've never really dealt with a hash table, but I've read the modules and it seems like a really great idea of an implementation of something. So I'm just like, cool.
Yeah, it sounds similar to Python dictionary. It probably is actually.
Yeah, I'm
You're familiar with Python.
excited to get into it because I mean it's something that's always talked about and we've just never touched.
Yeah, I heard
So-
it's like a pretty important algorithm. I mean, data structure.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to just like also just to yeah, the quests have been fun and also not I don't know. I think it's like I think I joked about this a few weeks ago, but just
Mhm.
like it's like, oh, am I learning? Because
Yeah.
they I don't know. I don't feel like the difficulty has like killed me yet.
Yeah,
This is good.
I feel like it's been fine so far. The thing that's like really annoying is the lack of error message, I guess. Well, not error message. It will tell you if like something's wrong, but it doesn't give you like your end of the result and the reference code.
Yeah, yeah,
It doesn't give the comparison, I guess.
that's going to be tough because I definitely use that sometimes, and I'm like, this is what it should.
Yeah, I feel like you usually can like work out the problem off of the comparison, but then no,
Yeah,
you're kind of in the dark. Especially the hash table quest. It like doesn't give you anything.
awesome.
Quest 7 and 8 still gives like a little bit of insight to what is wrong, like give you the reference code and what it expects, but like still minimum intel to what's happening on the questing site. And
Can't wait. This will be great. This is like, yeah, I need to try to wrap it up. Oh, shit.
yeah,
It's all over my room. Yeah, I need to wrap some quests up. I'm about to get super busy. I guess it's only for a few weeks though, and then I could always backload the end of my
yeah.
quarter.
As long as you pop it, honestly. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to pop everything and like take notes to what I think I missed. Like definitely I missed like some of the toString function. I saw after I popped it in Reddit that there are like hidden loots about the toString.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and beating the reference time I think sometimes gives you points too. So I want to make because actually in the quest 7 and 8 they give you the reference time and your time. So you want to try to match it or like go lower than that. And then I think beating it gives you also sometimes extra hidden points, like the efficiency point in there. And remember,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I've been comparing what my scores have been to previous scores. So that's been looking forward to these and trying to beat I realized that I got more on Mockingbird than it previously said was possible. So
oh really? Good for you.
I got 34. What did you get?
Oh, I have 32.
Okay, yeah, there's two hidden.
Oh, that's helpful. Gonna come back to that.
Yeah, I noticed it because I checked my grade and said I had 19 on it, and I'm like, I definitely got in the 30s on that, but it logged it for whatever reason. I have no idea why. So I just resubmitted it and it was like 34.
Oh,
it also
wow.
had 0 on Blue 8, which I'm like
0?
Yeah, I'm like, I definitely didn't because I had to get the password again because I didn't write the passwords down.
Oh yeah, I think I just saw on my site, my trophy checker thing that my quest 3 on Blue is also 0 or 4 actually.
Yeah, there must be something weird going on.
But then I got all the point in Canvas, which is good.
Yeah, did he grade the dogging the early quest yet?
No, but I think you can do that up to week 11 as well. Like dogging everything you can.
That's why he hasn't graded it. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna have to go back and dog Blue.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you can just email him right now, like that you dog Blue and green. And
I haven't dogged Blue yet though, because
you haven't dogged Blue. I haven't dogged green. I'm missing the efficiency point for the ends. I'm gonna work on that.
I think last quarter Well, no, it was this. So yeah, I lost like 3 of the assignments from Blue Like-
Oh,
down thing. So I
right.
just had to recode them real fast.
Oh, your hard drive problem.
Yeah, and like I wasn't using Git when I did Blue, because I don't know, I'm dumb. But yeah, so I recoded them and they worked, but I got some like ran out of patience things, and I was just like, oh, I don't have, I don't care enough to go back and fix this. Right.
Oh, I think I know which question you're talking. Is it the Fibonacci one?
I don't remember, but I counted them all up, and I'm like, dang, I'm not gonna dog Blue, but I think I got green.
Yeah, I need to dog green. I'm 2 points short on green.
You can get the efficiency points in ants for sure.
Yeah,
That's achievable.
yeah. Just need to
Ugh.
finish the red first, honestly.
Yeah, I'm like just full steam ahead. Let's rock these, then I'll worry about it. Because I'm waiting to hit the one red quest where I'm like, oh no, like it takes me 3 weeks. But
Yeah.
but you're 7, 8, 9, so yeah, I feel okay. I can get
Yeah. I feel like I'm fine, but still want to pop everything first.
oh, for sure.
Right now, I'm just frantically typing the header code for the next quest. What is
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Or no, I don't like being all like last minute rushed. I'd much
Yeah.
rather.
It's yeah, better like do it early. Because like in case you have that one function that just won't cooperate with you and it will take like so much of your time. then
Yeah.
you just end up getting frustrated. So like better for you to start early.
Yeah, building time for breaks.
Figure out what the heck is going on first rather than trying to understand it last second.
Yeah. Building time to have a mental breakdown while you're trying to figure out how you're getting broken pointers.
Exactly.
All right. I'm gonna bounce. I gotta.
All right. Me too, man.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you. See you next week.
Yep.